Hegedorn's Plaza Redevelopment located at 964 Ridge Road. The applicant is Matt Tomlinson of Marathon Engineering, who is requesting final site plan approval associated with the proposed redevelopment of the former Hegedorn Supermarket Plaza on a 6.68-acre parcel located in a high-intensity commercial district under Section 269-11 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt Tomlinson, Marathon. I've got Al Hazelwood as the project architect as well with me, as well as representatives from the ownership group. We've obviously been before the board previously, both at the concept and preliminary approval, which we obtained at the last meeting. Subsequent to the last meeting, we submitted quite a bit of additional documentation to town staff and the town engineer addressing outstanding comments that we discussed at the last planning board meeting. It's my understanding that we've addressed the majority of those, including the stormwater pollution prevention plan review that we received. And what we are showing before you here is an updated rendering that shows some additional information such as screening of the trash compactor in the loading dock area. And we've got a perspective that I'm going to put up on the screen here in just a minute. So this is the revised rendering after the last meeting, and then in discussion with town staff, there's a trash compactor that exists in the loading dock area that needs to stay for the function of the upstairs of the plaza. There is no good or easy way to get trash down to the lower level from the upper level, and this is really the only spot. And because we're multi-level building, which is not really built in a plaza setting much anymore these days, as well as fronting on both Hard Road and Ridge Road, there is no back of house, if you will, for the upper level. And so that really drove what we proposed for screening on that trash compactor in the loading dock area, added some landscaping along the foundation of the building near the parking area, as well as on both sides of that loading dock as well to help screen that area. The straight on view from Ridge Road will see the screening gates, if you will, in the enclosure, but there's no other opportunity for landscaping to screen that from Ridge Road, so we did the best we could to dress that up with the limitations that we have. There were a couple other comments for discussion, which we discussed at the PRC, which included the sidewalk. And so the proposal is that the owner will install the linear footage of sidewalk represented on the plans, and there will be potential further discussion with the highway superintendent about possibly installing it on the east side of Hard Road versus the west side of Hard Road, dependent on what is the best route for pedestrians for the town. But the commitment is there for the linear footage of that sidewalk to be installed either on the east or west as agreed to the town staff and the developer. However, what is being shown is a viable route and alternative for that sidewalk to be installed. The rest of the plans and comments portions that we've addressed, I think, are very straightforward, answered the questions that we discussed at the last go-around with the town. One of the items that was requested was additional information on signage. What I've put up here is the sign locations that were discussed with the board on the elevations last time. This kind of shows it in a 3D perspective for frame of reference of what the town is looking at. This is standing essentially at the pavement or at the sidewalk level along Hard Road with the access drive on the private property with the lighting and the retaining wall for the upper parking as you go up, and then the landscape islands in the parking field in front of the plaza. I believe that also captures, and you may have to squint like I am in order to see it, but some of the planters and other landscaping that's incorporated in some of the facade work. The other item, and I believe, oh yeah, the monument sign. So the other item was the monument sign. We have shown that location, and hopefully it's going to load here on my screen. There we go. It is shown on the plan, and it meets the setback requirements of 25 feet from the right-of-way. It's shown here on this location, and it's set back far enough where it won't block visibility for cars or sight lines for the northbound view. And then relative to the monument itself, we originally had brought in a 20-foot high and 10-foot wide. That's been reduced down to 10 foot by 10 foot with the understanding that the applicant may need to pursue a variance for height, but understands that they will pursue that in the future. But the monument size, from a width and a location standpoint, along with the building mounted sign, we are requesting approval from the planning board, understanding that the height would need to go before the zoning board at a future date. So that's the update from a site plan perspective. Al, did I miss anything for you on the building perspective?
No.
Matt, excuse me, while you're still there, Matt, your landscaping, on your drawing, where you're showing the cars parked on the Ridge Road side, you've got landscaping in front of the parking on what? I couldn't tell them yet.
I'm just scrolling to the landscape.
Yeah, there is,
Mr.
okay.
Chairman. Yep. So yes, we have provided
Yeah.
landscaping along there.
Okay.
The only space where we did not, there's a door out to the loading dock. It's my understanding that's a required egress door, so we had to provide a flush access off the loading dock area to the parking lot,
Yeah.
which is why that space is shown as striped out for that egress path.
Yeah. And you landscape the area, putting a wall up, a containment area.
Containment area will be supplementing the loading dock wall with
Yeah.
some solid screening to
And
get to the height as well.
It's a masonry construction wall.
Yes.
Yes. And the siding, the gate application of the gate finish will be reflective of the standing seam roof.
Yeah, I see that. That's good. Well, as far as I can see, everything we've asked for, we've accomplished. The sidewalk, I agree. The east side of the road probably is it goes from the expressway right now, comes all the way up into the Plaza area. And by putting that in there, there's just a little bit in the middle of the plaza that would actually be lacking. We'd have it from Ridge Road all the way to the expressway. That would be good. I believe you guys agreed no tractor trailers in
At
the
the upper
loading
loading.
dock on Ridge Road, correct?
That's correct.
It's going to be around the back. That's
Correct.
something we talked early on. Okay. All right. And you were going to say something, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, go ahead.
Now, I was just looking up to acknowledge that you were looking.
Oh, we talked about the sign, lowering that down from 20 feet to 10 feet, you did that, I think that's a major improvement right there.
Are we able to approve that tonight, or just have to get the variance and then the approval, or the approval and then the variance?
Well, probably have to get a variance, I guess, for over 6 foot, would you have to get a variance for that?
Technically, yes.
Yeah. We can send a letter recommending that it was going to be 20 foot, okay, we'll do that. We'll send a letter to the zoning board.
And again, we understand if we have to go for the variance, we just don't want that to be a holdup to the site plan approval. We are showing,
No, we won't.
we're showing the location and the code
Now,
compliant.
we're going to approve it, the only thing, the sign would be approved subject to you getting the variance.
Understood.
That work?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
And we can send a letter to the ZBA recommending the 10 foot, that was a suggestion by the board, versus the 20 foot original. That'll help you do it. Okay, good. Anybody, any questions or?
I only have one question. There's 3 stores in the front, there's 1 on the bottom. Is there going to be room on the bottom for a potential 4th occupant? Because there's that spot in the sign, the monument sign.
I believe that the remaining space below will, or it has historically been used as the Hegedorn's corporate office, and I believe that there will still be a tenant that's within that,
Okay.
some of that lower space.
Okay. Understand. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else? Shannon? Mark? Here? It's going too quick. Good. Hey, guys. Great. All right, based on that, I think we've pretty much covered everything. You've gone through the comments. Did you get a copy of the comments, and you're okay with those from PRC comments and stuff from Paul?
Yes.
You got that?
Yep. Yeah, no issues. We'll dot those i's and cross those t's.
Yeah, that's basically what they were. All right.
It's gonna be a great upgrade in the area. It really looks beautiful and very well done.
Good. Thank you.
All right, well, no, we don't have to do, secret, we did that, it's preliminary, yeah. All right, well, make a motion, I'll make a motion that we grant, planning board grants final approval to the Hegedorn project on Ridge Road, and we can make that subject to, well, we'll go through the list in a little bit, subject to all the PRC comments, subject to all preliminary approval conditions, and subject to all governmental fees, and make it subject to Department of Public Works approvals, and significant construction commences within 1 year from this date, being November 7th, 2024. We need to even put that in, they're already half done. The conditions of preliminary and final approval need to be put on the cover sheet of the drawings. Make sure that happens. We've been getting some that aren't, and I don't think we should even be taking those. All right, that's an important one. Engineer for the proposed project provides a letter of certification that all proposed work was completed as per planning board resolution of final approval before a CFO is issued. And the letter credit to the town for the project shall include the fee for the engineer's final inspection, certification inspection of the site. Stormwater, we got that, we don't need that, downstairs, we don't need that. Subject to resolution of the final approved minutes. And make that subject to the drawing. What is your number on there? Your final drawing number. I don't have it.
The date of them, Tony, or?
Yeah, just the final.
It's last revised 10/18/23. Are you looking for all of the sheet numbers?
No, that's okay. Last revised, let's use that one. What was it,
10/18/23.
10/18/23, yeah. Okay. And then along with that, we'll put it in there that no tractor trailers to be using the current loading dock area. They are to use the rear entrance.
If you could say the upper loading dock, I think that'd be.
Upper loading dock, that's fine, that's good. And what was the other thing we had? Sidewalks to be based on Highway Department's recommendation and approval. Oh, the height of the sign is 10 foot, and that's been reduced. And what we'll do with that, we'll approve it. We'll approve the sign, making it subject to the applicant receiving the necessary variance for that. Okay? All right, is there anything else we need to put in there? Jared? Jennifer? Think of anything else? Or Josh? Should cover it, right? Okay, so that's a motion. Need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Mr. Kashani,
Aye.
Mr. Giardina,
Aye.
Mr. Anderson,
Aye.
Mr. Kozel,
Aye.
Mrs. Wright.
Aye.
Okay, good. And we need to make a resolution. I'll sign the letter. Okay. All right, I guess we're all set then.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for coming in. Good luck with the project. Thanks. See you guys. What's that?
Looking forward to seeing it
Yeah.
advance, continue to advance.
Good night. Thank you.
We'll see you guys.